DC News Now at 5.
The shutdown's impact is spreading even on your morning commute. Why metro trains and buses are suddenly a lot emptier.
A North Bethesda woman is facing charges after police say she used AI to fake a home invasion. What she's charged with tonight.
As the old RFK Stadium comes down, a vision for what's to come is growing, where the mayor is getting her inspiration from.
Then a chilly start to the week. Meteorologist David Matson tracking when more rain and wind is on the way.
And the DC man helping everyone from students to older adults.
We should all have one common goal: to provide a wonderful, wonderful skill set to the community to enhance it.
We introduce you to who's working to help people in the district.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Mark Hall.
And good evening. I'm Annalisa Gale.
In Prince George's County, Maryland, charges have been filed against the driver involved in a deadly crash over the weekend in Bladensburg, Maryland.
Yeah, a woman died and 13 other people, mostly children, suffering various injuries in Saturday night's crash along 56th Avenue at a birthday party.
DC News Now's Dave Laval joined us live with the latest. Dave, we now know the name of the driver.
Good afternoon to you, Mark and Annalisa. That is indeed correct. Bladensburg police have identified the driver as 66-year-old Sunday Joseph of Washington, D.C. All of this happened late Saturday night in front of the house behind me. Charging documents released just a short time ago make it appear alcohol did play a role in the crash.
Unfortunately, tragic incidents like this do occur despite our efforts.
Bladensburg Interim Police Chief Daniel Frischkorn speaks on Saturday night's crash in the front yard of the home along 56th Avenue. 31-year-old Ashley Gutierrez of Washington, D.C. died at the hospital. One of 14 people, mostly children ages 1 through 17, who suffered various injuries.
I can't imagine how terrifying this must have been, especially with children involved and so many casualties.
Police say 66-year-old Sunday Joseph slammed into a tent set up on the front lawn for a birthday party. Markers show the path police say Joseph traveled before he struck the tent, in reverse. Charging documents say George drove the wrong way along westbound Annapolis Road without any headlights or taillights when he turned onto 55th Avenue and crashed.
It's heartbreaking, man. It's just heartbreaking, man.
Michael Pleasance is a neighbor. He's still trying to understand how all of this happened.
I can't quite understand. He might have been under influence.
Charging documents said George appeared to witnesses at the scene to be intoxicated. Joseph then ran from the scene, but turned himself into police Sunday morning.
It's sad, dude. It's really sad, you know. You got people out here having a good time and people over here crashing and killing people. That's a sad thing.
All but one of the children have been released from the hospital, while 2 adults are still being treated.
Prosecutors charged Joseph with 10 counts, including negligent manslaughter with a car. All of the charges could send him to prison for up to 13 years if he's convicted. We're live in Bladensburg, Maryland. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, thank you. New tonight in the district, 2 more teenagers are facing assault charges in an attack of a former DOJ staffer. U.S. Attorney for D.C. and the district police say that they arrested Lawrence Powell and Anthony Taylor. The 19 and 18-year-olds are accused of beating up Ethan Levine and an attempted carjacking at U Street, at a gas station in August. Investigators say that the 2 were also part of a group who went on to attack former DOJ employee Edward Kornstein on Swan Street in Northwest. We do want to warn you that some of the images shown during the news conference are disturbing.
Cotton Powell was stomping on Levine's head, as you can see in this poster to my left. Levine was able to get up momentarily, but the crowd chased him and got him down again.
Oh, police also arrested 2 15-year-olds in that attack. Our media partners at The Hill reports that a D.C. judge sentenced them to probation. The incident made national headlines when President Trump shared a photo of Kornstein bloodied. Then a week later, the White House federalized D.C. police and moved in the National Guard. Shutdown marking the third longest shutdown in the history.
Yeah, and we're going to take a live look now at Capitol Hill, where senators are expected to vote for the 11th time in about 30 minutes.
Meantime, the impacts of the federal shutdown continue to be felt across the DMV. That includes on transportation. Metro says that it's seen a drop in ridership. DC News Now's Liberty Simmons has more.
For federal workers, the government shutdown means a lot of unexpected time off, but for Metro, it means fewer riders and a lot emptier trains.
It means something's very wrong. Something's very wrong. Money's not circulating within the DMV area. And like I said, it's very unfortunate that these workers are off.
The Metro platforms were sparsely sprinkled with passengers. Metro says it's already seeing a noticeable dip in riders since the start of the shutdown.
It's just a shame people are furloughed and not leaving their house. I'm furloughed right now, so I'm not leaving my house very much.
Metro says federal employee ridership is down 24% compared to weekdays in September.
It's a shame. I really hope it doesn't lead to cuts for Metro.
Weekend numbers have stayed the same, but overall ridership across buses and trains have dropped about 7% from last month's weekday averages.
I mean, it's certainly nice to have a little bit more elbow room, but I don't know that it's worth it. Obviously, the cost vastly outseeds the benefit.
Metro calls itself the backbone of transportation in the region, moving nearly 1 million customers every day. But with so many federal workers staying home, it's another reminder of how much the region depends on the federal workforce.
It feels a little sad, honestly. DC is emptied out. I know people are here, but it doesn't feel like people are here.
Though Metro says ridership is down, they say their service levels remain unchanged and they will continue to monitor the situation until the shutdown is over. For now on the Metro, Liberty Simmons, DC News Now.
All right, thanks to Liberty for continuing coverage and also information on resources available for those affected and to see how local officials are responding. Head to our website at dcnewsnow.com.
All right, turning over to meteorologist David Matson right now for a look at our forecast. Damon, I was telling Mark and pretty much everyone that it's Howard Homecoming Week. So we are looking forward to decent weather around Friday, Saturday. That's when the events pick up. So we'll see what happens.
Look, Annalisa, we've been working together for a few years now, and I know you're always wanting that good weather on Howard Homecoming. So
yes,
got to deliver. The stress is on. The stress is on. But I think so far we're getting some improvements out there. Last night was a little bit feisty with a strong cold front that came on through and brought a decent amount of rain and certainly some stronger winds as well. Now, it's still visible on our map here, but the bulk of that unsettled, very windy weather is up into parts of the Northeast at this point. Things are finally quiet again for a brief moment here in the DMV. But if we look upstream a little bit, well, there's another front coming as we continue along this train of cold fronts sweeping across the region. But for the time being, at least, hey, we are seeing things improve and quiet down tonight. And wind gusts, it's been something that's been left behind despite that front sweeping on out of here early this morning. We had occasional gusts 30 to 40 miles an hour. We're still seeing some 30-mile-per-hour gusts like up toward Martinsburg. But overall, the rest of the area, finally, we're getting those winds to calm down a little bit. But as that happens, we are going to have that classic setup again. Calm winds, clear skies with what little bit of cloud cover was out there clearing up to. And that is going to lead to a pretty chilly night. Temperatures pretty rapidly falling through the 50s over the next few hours. And yeah, by tomorrow morning, we'll be feeling that chill. But is it expected to warm up again as we head throughout the afternoon on Tuesday? And that next front, is it going to bring us more rainfall? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
Hi, Damon. Thanking Washington County, Maryland. 2 people were sent to Baltimore's shock trauma after a pressurized water tank exploded. Police responded to the Hopewell Road in Hagerstown this afternoon. They say that the 2 victims have significant facial injuries, and Maryland's Occupational Safety and Health are investigating the circumstances around the incident.
Right now, a 13-year-old girl is in the hospital following a serious crash in Silver Spring. Montgomery County Police say it happened Sunday night when a car hit the girl in the area of Georgia Avenue and Evans Drive, allegedly. The girl transported to a nearby hospital with life-threatening injuries. She remains in critical but stable condition. The driver did stay on the scene. That investigation is ongoing. And right now in Virginia, there is growing community concern in Arlington this afternoon after a historic mural was demolished as part of a construction project.
And the mural near the Langston Brown Community Center was painted with scenes and important figures from the historically black Halls Hill Highview Park neighborhood.
DC News Now's Randy Bass has a look at what's left behind and where things stand. Randy, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mark and Elisa. Just a few painted bricks remain here at the mural after the rest was knocked down. We're told, reports say, it's all part of a modernization project here at the McDonald's here along Langston Boulevard. And community members we talked to today tell us this came as a shock to the neighborhood.
Here's a look at the Halls Hill mural as it stood between the Langston Brown Community Center and the Langston Boulevard McDonald's since the early 90s. Now knocked down with little left behind. Neighbor Vonda Richardson was sad to see it come down.
I'm very upset about that mural. You know, even my niece was helped, paint that. You didn't just have to demolish it. You could have easily taken that up and moved it.
The mural showcasing the rich black history of the formerly segregated Halls Hill Highview Park neighborhood, including abolitionist John Langston and its historic fire station.
That's part of our history. That's our history. Our community drew that and they just destroyed it without any consideration.
Construction at the Langston Boulevard McDonald's started over the summer. ARLnow.com reports a construction manager for the McDonald's modernization project says, quote, "The screening wall is on McDonald's property, and due to the age and condition of the wall, we have decided to replace it." Also saying McDonald's is working with the community regarding the mural that was on the wall. But some neighbors tell us that wasn't the case.
I live right here. None of us knew it was going to happen.
Neighbor Kristen Florence says seeing the wall and the artwork torn down came as a shock.
It's heartbreaking, really. At the end of the day, there's small pieces of what this neighborhood was, and this was a huge part of that.
Now, DC News Now has reached out to McDonald's for an official statement about the removal of the mural. They have not yet responded to those requests. In Arlington, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you. Well, new tonight, Amazon Web Services recovering now after experiencing a major outage. The outage causing issues for many, including government agencies, airlines, universities, and companies like McDonald's and Fortnite early this morning. Now, again, Amazon posting to X saying that they noticed the errors shortly after midnight on Monday, adding that the issue was mitigated just after 2 a.m., but some customers still continue to experience errors with Amazon Web Services in the Northern Virginia region due to issues with one of their systems. They say they're working to restore service as quickly as possible. You can check the status of AWS at health.aws.amazon.com. Well, happening now, Howard University's homecoming is underway. It kicked off on Sunday, and it's scheduled to end at the end of the week. The week-long events includes a fashion show, a celebration on the yard, the 2025 State of the University address, a community parade, and a football game on Saturday with the Bison taking on Morgan State University. The University of Maryland is also celebrating their homecoming starting on Sunday and ending on November 1st, with Maryland taking on the Indiana Hoosiers.